Okay, so I have been out for a couple days doing tax testing. So I want to go ahead and I want to give you a couple video notes. These are going to go on your EOC notebook. Okay, this should be your second one, finding patterns, writing equations from a table. Okay, so please make sure you watch this video and copy this down into your EOC notebook, which is a major test grade. Alright, so again, this is another problem that comes from your EOC mock tax, or your mock EOC test, and this is kind of, and part of the reason I think you guys miss this is because of the representation, the way it's set up. So I want to go ahead and explain this. What we're doing is if we're given a sequence of 5 numbers, and it tells us to find the general pattern or the algebraic function or whatever, what we have to do is we got to basically find the equation that goes with these. Okay? Now, you can look at these 5 numbers as a table. So if I create a table of terms, basically my x value is going to be the order at which this term is, and my y value are going to be this. These are all my y values. That's why it says finding patterns and writing equations from a table. Okay, so these are all my y values. So I'm going to stick them in here. 6, 10, 14, 18, and 22. The reality is we're not going to need to use all of these. Okay, so my x value then is basically what order are they in. What's my first number? Well, my x is 1. My 10 is 2. 14 is 3. 18 is 4. 22 is 5. So now I've created a table of values for us to go ahead and solve. So let's go ahead and find the equation by solving this table. Okay? Again, how do we write any equation? Well, we write any equation, y equals mx plus b. Well, I'm using y equals mx plus b. That means I need to find 2 things. I need to find my slope, so y equals blank x, plus, and my y-intercept, blank. So I need to, first step was put in table. I think it's important for you guys to at least have steps for these so that way you can kind of get a process. Now, memorizing the steps, that'll help you. But basically the first thing I'm going to do is put it into a table. Then I'm going to find equation and slope-intercept form. And slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b. Alright, the first thing I need to do in order to do this is find slope. Okay, so if I want to find my slope, finding slope from a table is change in y over change in x, the rate of change. So in this case, my change in y is 4 plus 4, right? So positive 4 over my change in x is 1. So my slope is 4 over 1, which is 4. Okay? So then that goes in that first blank. So now I have to find my y-intercept. So b. Where is b? Well, b is where x is equal to 0. So I need to find where x is equal to 0, okay? Alright, so how do I do that? If I'm looking at my table here, all I have to do is go back 1, right? If I go back 1 on my table, I would subtract 1, right? Well, 1 minus 1 is 0. If I go back in this category, I subtract 4, because going forward is adding 4, going back is subtracting 4. So 6 minus 4 is 2. So my x is 0, my y is 2, so my b must equal 2. So then to finish off my equation, okay, To finish off my equation, I just rewrite it in slope-intercept form. Y equals 4x plus 2. Now I know probably, if you remember the mock EOC at all, this was actually written where all it gave you was 4x plus 2. Just pretend like there's a y out there, it's the same concept, okay? The same concept, same concept. So let's go ahead and review the steps one more time. We put this into a table, so we took these 5 numbers, we treated them as y values and stuck them in a table. Then our x values are basically the position. This was the first one, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Once I did that, I'm going to find the equation in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. First thing I need to do in order to do that is find the slope. I found the slope by doing a rate of change in y over change in x. Once I did that, I went ahead and plugged in the slope. Then I needed to find the y-intercept. The y-intercept, remember, is b is equal to where x equals 0. So x is 0 here. We just went back on our table to find it. X is equal to 0 here, and y is equal to 2 there. Okay, and then I just plugged it in. And then finally my last step is simplify in y equals mx plus b. The reason I say simplify is because sometimes when you do this particular pattern, you might end up with plus negative, and then you'd have a double negative. You don't ever want a double negative. Okay? And that's pretty much it. So that is finding a pattern, in this case, writing equations from a table. Even though it didn't give us a table, we created one. All right, put that in your My EOC notebook and look for the next video. Have a good day.